had this cool new intro that I wanted to show you, but then someone raided me, so I already started talking to the stream for a sec.
Oh, no problem, man, no problem. Do you think? Do you think? All right. Let's get it on. Did you share it with the...
I was going to do that right now.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Share it, share it, share it.
Yep.
Get involved, baby. Alrighty, let's get into this. So, Beastmen versus Norsca today. Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh. Taste it.
Yeah,
This is an interesting one. This is an interesting one.
Yeah. I had a few matches with Muckluck yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Went,
My boy, my boy.
Yeah, it went pretty well, and we had one really close game. It's the one I also sent for you to have a look at for
Yes.
casting, actually.
Yes. Alrighty, let's pop on this game. Lobby's up. Norsca the Empire Zinch. Interesting. I think for the Zinch day, what I might do is I might get you to play against Ever Chicken.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I think that'd be a pretty good way for both of you to practice, I would have thought. Oh, I'm already on Norsca. Oh, that's quite fun.
Actually funny, after the short beat tournament, me and Afrika did some matchup testing, and one of them was the Zinch mirror.
Yeah, I think, it'd be nice to have short beats running again. Be very nice.
No. So...
If you come to any thoughts about this matchup?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky because most of the infantry is better, again. Hey, thanks for the follow. Rinse Wind TGW. So basically their infantry is better. Also have to watch out for when they bring big mammoths or something, or the Lord on the Mammoth. They also have a pretty strong mobility game of this, I believe it's called Skinwalkers. Those wolf guys. So it's need to have all the bases checked, pretty much.
Yeah, I think this is a particularly an interesting one. I think there's a few ways you particularly can play this for yourself. A couple of ways that I like to play this.
I'm pretty sure it's the same as Muckluck. It's every
I
time.
don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Every time I prepare for something and you bring this entirely different build, I'm like, what the hell?
I do like to bring something different to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that. How can I get that in there? Yes, I think this will be an interesting one.
Cool. I don't think I ever had the option to scroll through my list of current viewers yet.
Oh no.
No, I think I've had like maybe 6 viewers at most before this.
Oh, nice one. All right. Well, I think I'm roughly ready. I'm
Okay.
roughly ready.
Let's
Let's
get cracking.
get some Chevys on. Let's do it. Yeah, I think this is a very interesting matchup, especially from the infantry perspective. Marauders trade incredibly efficiently against the Beastmen.
Yeah.
It's a pretty painful matchup from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's a couple of other ways that I think you might find your mobility game can also suffer quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's a couple of boys in the roster that do pretty well.
Yep.
It's fair to say. It's fair to say they do pretty well. All right.
Your footboy.
You'll see, for once actually, this is one of the smaller builds that I brought against you.
Oh boy.
But it's still not like tiny, you know.
Nope. Oh, my mouse is acting up again.
So with a build like this, what would you, looking at the numbers, what would you roughly be expecting?
Oh, probably a mammoth.
Possibly, I'd say that's maybe. That's certainly possible. Yeah, that's certainly possible. If you had a mammoth in this build, you'd be expecting a lot of infantry. I would say.
Nicely.
Oh, going off this. I could be warmer. I'll just put it that way. All right, straight to the high mobility game in Norsca. Gotta love that. Right, are we ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do this.
Good luck, have fun.
Hey, you too, my dude. You too. You've gone with the big boy.
Yep. That's what stupid skinwalkers.
One thing I'd say for sure: don't get too fixated.
Mm-hmm. Ah, damn it! They got intercepted.
Good block.
That lord is slippery though.
I wouldn't let you get him for free now. I'm a nice guy, but not that nice.
GG.
GG's, man. There we go. Right, let's upload that there. Yeah, so what do you feel? How do you feel it went then?
I wasn't getting on your lord. You slipped out at like every time, like super easy. The Inco Raiders did okay, but apart from that, the Centaurs just keep dying to skin wolves. But I don't know if I don't bring them, I don't have mobility, and I can't really have that either. So it's like I'm not sure what to bring. This is about what Murkloc brought actually, something similar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. I think the interesting thing here is that so I brought Horse Masters, four Marauder Horsemen, bit of skirmish game. You definitely got to challenge out with your Centaurs because they'll butcher your Minotaurs over time. Given the chance, they have no shields. You got the great weapons, and if you compare Monsters Infantry to Monsters Infantry, 650 plus, then also 700 on the Minotaurs. Going up against the four Skinwolves, 850, 1000, 1055, 700 as well.
Yeah.
Skinwolves are more mobile, have better regen, I didn't bother paying for armor, so I'm just really
Yeah.
not worried about that. I care more about the mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Frontline did pretty well, even though it got shot. Beast of Tashnar, anti-large, kind of Regiment Renown, Norsca Moorhounds, but are pretty good. Warfreak also has a nice debuff on him, so I can just kind of slow debuff Taurox whenever. And Taurox can't really chase Warfreak, is one of the biggest problems. And then you got 780 there on the Brace Shaman, which I only brought Spirit Leech. So I did 780 value of damage just on Spirit Leech, and then whatever he did at melee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess the question for you is how do you deal with this force? It's a pretty rough one. What did you bring? You bought Brace Scream, Traitor Kim.
Yeah.
So I quite like Spirit Leech in this way.
For your side or for my side also?
For your side also, I think, because one of the things, especially for all of the lords, the only difference is Throg, right? If you believe Throg is gonna come, so for example, Throg gets destroyed by Taurox because he does fire damage. Throg has regen. He just slaps him around. So just nobody brings Throg. So 99% of people bring Wolfric. If you bring Wolfric and he's on anything but a mammoth, Spirit Leech is very good.
Okay.
Spirit Leech will do just great damage up against Wolfric. So on horseback, he has 5,160 HP, but he has no way of healing. So he is just going to take constant damage.
Yeah, and he can't, on a mammoth, I don't think he can outrun Torx, right? What's his speed on a mammoth?
Probably can, actually. Let's have a look. 56.
Yeah, 64 on Torx.
Okay. He's always going to be on horseback in this matchup.
Yeah. I also tested a bit against Wolfric. Even a naked Torx can almost kill a fully buffed Wolfric on a mammoth, so...
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to be using Fight or Die, Hunters of Champions. I'm basically going to debuff your armor, debuff your melee defense, increase my melee attack, and just slap you around a bit. Seafang also, the reason I bring just a single Spirit Leech is I've also got Seafang, which is basically wind spell that's really strong. Get 3 of those for free, cost no mana. So I've basically got 2 spells in my back pocket that I can do whatever I want with. Marauder Cav, just using them to skirmish you, do damage where I can.
Yeah.
And as you push with your cavalry, I countercharge with my Skinwolves.
Yeah.
And the issue is that I've got anti-large Skinwolves that are pretty fast for 950, whilst you've got to pay 1,200 for your Minotaur Great Weapons.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. The question is, what do you do about it? And I think Skinwolves, I don't know how much of an answer there is in this roster.
Yeah. Okay, so you came to the same conclusion as me then.
Yes, pretty much. Apart from going just lots of Ungor Spearmen. Like, I like you got Ungor Spearmen, but of course, you've also got to fight my front line. Now, I don't know if Goreherds actually beat Marauders.
Goreherds do. Yes, they do.
They should. It's going to be close. It's not going to be it's not going to be an efficient trade, I don't think.
No.
I think for me here, maybe you have a few too many Ungor Raiders, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, they do. I do feel they do really well though against Norsca. Even if they do bring a mammoth, it gets shot to pieces. They also pepper the skin wolf, so it's able to, on the first charge of those Beast of Tashnar, 2 of them shot them down before they could even reach them.
That's good.
And the only really armor options they have is, I think, the Marauder Champions, but then you can't go as wide, so I think that's pretty fair.
The way you want this to be is you want your cavalry fighting my cavalry, you want your spearmen fighting my skin wolves, and you want your minotaurs in the back butchering everything that's big and large and in charge.
Yeah.
The raiders are just going to pepper everything.
Yeah, the problem with the minotaurs going for the big large targets is Norsca doesn't have to bring large targets.
No. Doesn't have to bring large stuff indeed.
Yeah. So that's kind of dilemma.
I do actually feel like this could be one of the few times that maybe Norsca could go full mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not Norsca. Beastmen could go full
Oh,
mobility. And I don't hate it.
okay. We can try and make a
So
build like that.
I don't hate having, 4 Centaurs throwing axes as well. So throwing axes are a bit of a problem for the Skimmels, right? Because they're going to be able to skirmish and kite and get away from the Skimmels. My Skimmels can't catch
Oh,
them no matter how hard I try. That's one of the advantages you've got. But then you need to use your Centaurs to protect your Centaur throwing axes.
Mm-hmm.
So for me,
Okay.
I'd actually probably drop the Ungor Raiders.
Yeah, and then get the throwing axes. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd almost get 4 of them, and then you could keep the miners if you want a bit more mobility. Is the infantry worth it here for you? It's really hard to say. I'm gonna say probably not.
Okay.
I actually just think a full mobility build is the way to play here. Taurox
Cool.
looks Taurox a bit expensive, maybe. Hmm. He's mobile though. I'll give it to him. You got 1,250 left.
No. Also, should the Brave Shaman be... Does he need life leeching? And should he be on a chart if I'm going full mobility?
I would always take life leeching because it just gives you more power reserves. I think power reserves is one of the most powerful things in the game.
But should he be on a chariot for speed if I'm going full mobile?
Depends what else you want to get, right?
Yeah, if I can afford it, yeah.
How many Centaurs can you have? Let's have a look. The fruit rulers. Best men. Best of the men. You can only have 4 of each.
That's what I have selected currently.
You would imagine probably you'd want some mobility from him. You could just use cavalry to protect him because you're pretty good at that anyway. And what was it, 300 for the chariot?
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible. And then maybe you grab a Centaur, great weapon.
All right.
That probably wouldn't be the end of the world. 50 gold, I don't think you're going to get much. What's on Taurox?
Slaughter Skull, Brass Body, and Rune Torches, Tortured Axes.
I don't bother taking those. I don't think they're very good for the money. For the Rune Tortured Axes, that is.
Oh, that, yeah. Melee attack is nice, but he already has a lot of that.
Yeah, I think he's so powerful that I think that 200 gold could probably go somewhere else. So, what spells have you got?
What about Slaughter Skull and Brass Body?
Yeah, you could say Slaughter Skull would be good with the Minotaurs. Brass Body is certainly going to help protect him. So, for example, if I use my debuff, you can then use Brass Body to kind of counteract that.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Beastmen so I can kind of copy your build. I just see Rune Tortured Axes as just a worse version of Slaughter's Call, I guess. Yeah, they give base damage and armor piercing, sure, but Slaughter's Call at least does it in a 35-meter radius.
Yeah.
Give like buff other units as well. So if you've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. You went double big boys with the axes. Where are they? You went the great weapons. Then you have a caster on a chariot. Or death. We're just probably spirit leader, right? On this.
Yeah.
Ah, that's a shame. You've only got 250 left.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say you could have got the grog hooves, but perhaps not.
Yeah, it has to take something off Thorax or the chariot.
Alright, just messing around here to see what I can fit in for you. 550 going to do for you. Not a lot. Yeah, I don't know where that 250 is gonna go. Oh no, you need 300 for all upgrades, I think. Yes. You could drop Slaughter's Call, I guess. Do you want to do that? You could drop Slaughter's Call, and then you could just take the Grog Hooves. Gives you regen cav. And then you can use 150 to grab a Soul Blight or a Doom and Darkness if you wanted. Soul Blight wouldn't be terrible if you wanted to go for Air of Effects Knight.
What will the Soul Blight?
You could do something a little bit like this. Go for a bit of a full cavalry push. This really comes down to you basically really finding the right engagements. You need to look for the right engagements everywhere on the field. This could be very tough. Something that sticks out a little bit like a sore thumb to me is maybe the Minotaurs, because they're not going to be able to keep up with the rest of the build.
Yeah.
But then the same could be said for Taurox. Taurox is probably the only one that's going to win in combat. I do wonder maybe you just bring a great shaman actually. Just sorry, let me let me have a little think here. Because this is quite a tough matchup in my mind.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a rough one. That's interesting. Scholar Shielding is decent. Forbidden Rod is also not terrible. So you could get your Lord and Caster on a chariot for 1600. You could then throw yourself in some pretty tasty cavalry and some double dogs. So you could have a build like this. This is certainly something you could play with. I actually quite like this. So you're going to have Spirit Leech on your caster, who also has like Scholar Shielding, Forbidden Rod to get extra Winter Magic. I maybe wouldn't invest. You could probably like drop Distorted Reality and then just pick up like a Soul Blight or something. I think that would be a really nice build. Yeah, I quite like this build. Allows you to go a little bit wider. You're not going to win Lord on Lord, but if you do enough damage in total, or like you the Centaurs catch my Lord or something, like it's game over anyway. I could see this being a bit of a problem.
Okay.
And I think this is legal. As far as I can see, there is no reason you cannot do this. Unless somebody else in chat sees anything different. Yeah, on here, the only variants that exist go from Goreherds, Ungors, and the Minotaurs. the only one that I see to be like that.
Let's. Right. So I never took Soul Blight before. It's casted is just.
So Soul Blight, if you do a regular cast, it's a 35-meter radius debuff, so it reduces armor, base weapon damage, and armor piercing pretty considerably. I think if you overcast it,
Double
maybe
duration.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Oh yeah, just checked it out to be sure.
I think it's like I think you save 2 winds of magic, but you double the duration. So you basically, I probably wouldn't overcast it because you can't guarantee that. It's nothing to slow me and keep me in that aura.
Oh, is it an aura?
Yeah, well, it's an area of effect, right? So it's 35 meters. So
yeah.
being there's no debuff on speed, I could just pull out of it.
Yeah.
So if you double it and I'm paying attention, it's it's already 18 seconds if you regularly cast it. So it's more than good enough to regularly cast.
And chance of doing damage to myself and.
Yeah, so Forbidden Rod, you'll do damage to yourself, but it'll give you power reserves, a lot of them, and lots of winds of magic really quickly. So basically, as long as you don't get your lord into too many fights, you can use Forbidden Rod and you'll just have shag tons of like Spirit Leeches ready to go pretty much all the time. And you got Arcane Conduit there, you got Life Leeching for extra mana reserves. It's actually a pretty nice combo kit, I think, actually. Could be a bit of a problem for Wolfric, I think. The only downfall would be if somebody was stupid enough to bring Throg. Like, if someone didn't think about the matchup enough and actually brought Throg, that could be a problem for you because I've got regen.
Yeah.
But even then, he'd be so slow that if he caught me, I could also be in trouble.
Yeah, or just stay away from him. I can outrun him.
Yeah, but also if you've got like just one unit of Sentinel great weapons around him, like what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
All throwing axes, you're just gonna kite him to death. Pin him in place with like a Norsca Moorhound and then just shoot him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can choose when to engage him pretty much because of his speed. Yeah.
So for you here on this, you're going to be wanting to use your mobility to your advantage. You want to get round the flanks, both sides. You kind of want to pin me in and force my cavalry to not be able to kind of be able to get away. It's going to be my ability to try and use blockers to stop you pushing around the flanks, etc., etc.
Okay.
Obviously, this is going to be a bit different because I know what's coming now.
Yeah.
And now so do you. But to a certain extent, in matchups, you would roughly know what you would kind of expect. So.
I also have to think about how I want to keep behind my units.
I think it's always good to have some of each variant on either side of the map, right? So
it's already doing that.
yeah. So I would normally go 2 and 2 each side, and then have some throwing axes on top of it. The only difficulty for you is going to be is a hell of a lot of micro.
Yep. So I'll probably fuck it up at the start. First few attempts.
Alright, that happens.
And I'm fine with that.
I was going to set up pretty similarly to how I set up last time. Not really too much different. This is roughly how I would set up anyway.
Cool. I have those on skirmish just for the start. Right.
Alright, let's do this.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that is right around the flank.
Jeez, it is a lot of micro indeed.
Already now you're showing to be quite a bit of a nuisance, and I'm really struggling to like keep myself together.
I have a lot of stuff routing though.
That will happen, sadly.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Now the game has opened up a fair amount.
Opened up. I've lost pretty much everything.
You're not too far behind on value, I must say. You're really not. This might be kicking the kneecaps though.
Yeah.
GG.
GG. So that felt a bit better at the start, but then it kind of came crumbling down.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of engagement, like really early doors, that I think didn't favor you. You had quite a blobbed effect when you attacked me. Instead of having like one engaging and then you're kind of going around the corner, it was more like all of it blobbed into like one point, and it was very easy for me to filter from there. And you got a good charge off in the beginning. Like for example, I feel like you didn't use your mobility to like kind of its advantage.
No, I'm not used to having this much mobility, so that takes some adjusting, yeah.
Also, there's one of the things where like you don't have to take an engagement. Like you maneuvered me away by like coming around the corner on both sides, but it got to the point where like my infantry was fighting your like your cavalry, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to adapt to the style a bit.
Yes, and I think you know, with the amount of mobility you had, you probably could have ignored 1, 2, 3, 4, at least my 5 marauders,
Yeah.
which made it probably favoured up in your matchup. And you know, you could have kind of like what I call feinted, like you could have like pretended to go in somewhere, pulled out, and then pushed from the other side, or kind of moved around it a bit that way, perhaps.
Yeah.
Wonder if I can. Wonder maybe if I should try that and see how that goes. Yes, I think Skin Wars. Oh, did you want to go again?
Yeah, I just want to try this again now that I have a better understanding.
Cool. Yeah, try and use the mobility to advantage and understand that with you having the mobility, you can dictate what engagements you do and do not take. Also, sometimes don't overstay your welcome. It's good just to get some damage, leave, go away, and then come back again later. You know, if I make a mistake somewhere, for example.
Yeah, it's a big switch from the get your infantry fighting and then try and micro pieces here and there. Now it's micro everything at once. But with the speed and no vigor loss pretty much on my entire army now, that should be my advantage, so I need to use that, yeah.
In the later game, it certainly will be your advantage, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But that's another reason to dip and dive and not stay in prolonged combat.
Just keep running around, keep finding things. But we'll set up quickly and just get started.
Yes.
That's the nice thing about. Also, if you overcast Spirit Leech, it goes from 100 meters to 400 meters if you need it. But of course, you know that costs more Winds of Magic, which makes it less efficient. But you know, it means if you can't get close, you can you have the Winds of Magic advantage. So for me, I need to try and make all my Spirit Leeches, you know, single cast. But the more casts you get, the more you get out of life leeching as well. So it's kind of a bit of a coin flip, right? But anyway, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Don't overcommit on that flank.
That flank, which one?
The one I caught the skin walls on your dudes. Yeah. So don't overcommit that one. So now you'll see what I'm doing. I'm rotating some of my cavalry around. Trying to see if I can. Good Spirit Leech. Good Spirit Leech. Good movement right in the corner. That's good. That's good. You can see I'm going to be trying to use my units to try and keep yours away as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what happened to my... Ah, damn it. I was not looking at my caster.
Lost your caster? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's alright, that happens. And don't forget, you got some units in the back that you can use to your advantage. So the nice thing for you there, even though like your Lord went, it's still good on the value. Like it's not a problem. So the one thing you can't do is you also can't let my skin walls return because they obviously have regen, so they're going to heal quite nicely.
Oh, damn it.
If you see on this left-hand side of you, you'll see that I pinned the cavalry in, and I'm got it from all corners. That's kind of what I wanted to do there. I wanted to get a kind of full surround on you. But it's good there in your top right-hand corner. You seem to be winning that one over there.
And there's army losses.
GG's.
Okay, that was a bit better. At least it felt a bit better. Just, yeah, microing two sides of the battlefield at once is very hard.
Let's go over that. So, right, let's go over that replay and have a little look, and we'll go through it. I think that's going to be quite important here. Replays. You should be able to stream it from for the guys at home. If I share my screen here, screen 1, you should be able to share that screen for people at home. Pop it out as a window and then just share screen. I'd like to get up with OBS. You want OBS?
Yeah. I haven't done this.
So instead of doing game share, sorry, let me open up OBS. I can't remember. I think it's just screen share, I think. Remind me later. It'd be display capture. Just as you have game capture, it should be display capture if you want to show this one off.
I'm trying to. You said you can pop it out on this. Oh, here.
Yes. Pop it out.
Display capture.
There you go. Cool. Yeah, cool. You can see it. It's a little bit on the right hand side, but yeah, no, that's good. Nice. You should be able to see my mouse, I would have thought. Cool.
Right.
All right, so we'll go through it slowly. So I like that you got two flanks here. So we obviously got one hardcore flank coming over on the right and one coming on the left. But there's kind of no pressure coming through the middle. So what you'll see that I do here as we move on, with no pressure in the middle, I'm able to collapse both my flanks kind of into like a into like kind of like a U shape.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to be getting some javelins off, and then I'm going to move back. So you only have one going in here. So one thing I noticed is you've got the cavalry moving in here, Centaurs, but it's very much attacking on its own against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units here.
Oh yeah, I
So
wanted to send that one in, turn it back, and then go to the other flank.
right, I see. But you'll see on both sides, you'll see the value trade here. So this one comes in as well on its own, and you can't see it, but you can see I'm moving with the arrows across with
Yeah.
my shaman because I want to challenge
Yeah.
your great ray shaman because I identify him as a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as we're moving here, you challenge, but then you go away, which is good. But over here, you get caught a little bit. So I notice you overextend. So I'm moving with the
Yeah.
skin wolves, and they will butcher you very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
You'll see they'll die in a matter of seconds, which is really, really good for me. And then I'll pull them back. And this is something that's really important. I pull them back. There's no need to overextend. Your entire force is over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say also your entire force is over here.
Yeah.
So of course there's a lot of micro, but I would certainly already want some of these units coming round already where your Norsca Warhounds are. As you're
Yeah.
engaging here, you need to be getting round the corner in behind on these elements because you kind of have that advantage. So
Okay.
without attacking the front, some of my units you can see I'm going to force that rotation over to here because if you fight my infantry, I can use them as a roadblock or like a cheap way to get out. And some of my infantry is already coming over.
Okay.
So you cycle away here, so that's good. No need to stay, but of course, you're going to take a couple of javelins there for your troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Your Spirit Leech, that was good. That was an overcast. You can see you took a bit of
Yeah.
damage. But then I come over and I kind of test the waters to see if you're like paying attention here.
And I wasn't.
I then realize like you're just rotating and you've left this guy unguarded. So I do the Hunters of Champions, which is going to reduce that speed, armor, and melee defense. And I'm just gonna come over and thump this guy.
Damn. Yeah.
So he has 0 melee defense and like no armor, so he literally just takes ginormous hits from both these guys because they can fight in combat. Like Shaman Sorcerers would also fight or die. I just throw the whole entire kitchen sink, but this is good. I would say you're now coming around the flank. There's kind of nothing pinning this in here though, so you've sent everything when I would have sent maybe 1 or 2 things here to challenge here, and then have 3 fighting here and then 3 around the corner to kind of pin in the back. But now everything's coming together. I'd just say it's probably a little bit too late.
Yeah.
But of course, there's a lot to micro here. So we charge in with these Integral Fang Actors. They get caught by Skin Wolves. Skin Wolves is going to do some good butchery there. Infantry's moving across. You can see even I'm a little bit lackadaisical here. A lot of my javelins not doing too much. They are firing it a little bit. Lord, obviously, this is when you anger at me.
Yep.
But there's some in the back, so you can see something that I would say when I know that you've forgotten units is when you have infantry catching cavalry. Right, so my infantry is in here. So you fought my Marauder horsemen, and you did some good damage, but now they're just getting jumped on by just regular Marauders. Skin Wolf breaking the back, that's good. Beast of Tashnar chase off your Chaos Warhounds, just because they got better stats. And also with them being anti-large, I think they're quite good anti-large as well. Yeah, 14, so like kind of spearman level. They will push your Centaurs if you're not careful because they don't have much armor.
Yeah.
Over on the right, you're doing some good damage up against the Skin Wolves. This was a mistake by me. They're a little bit overextended with no real support. You can see I've not really touched this side, but I'm very much focusing over here. So I've pulled Wolfrit back, chased him off with the Shaman Sorcerer, and now I know that I have the magic advantage. These are breaking, so they're kind of getting shot as they go away. But I'm probably not going to chase these. I'm just going to focus on everything else for now. Beast of Tashnar chase one off. They break. I don't think they go off here, do they? Do they?
Nope.
Oh, they do go off.
Ah.
Centaurs are in the back, but now you can see I'm shooting you for as much as you're shooting me. And I'm now just pushing out my infantry to kind of use as a blockade because you can't stand still because otherwise you'll have to fight them. That's kind of the nice element of having some cheap infantry. Yeah, so skin wall's going down. Cavalry's now chasing across. But the value here is I'm now kind of 2-1 in the advantage. I also have my Lord that can come across. Fang goes down the line, which actually also has Frostbite, so it does slow units. And I can just kind of, chase you off here. As soon as you break, I'm not going to let you stay around. These bits of fighting, Spirit is not as good as Cav as it used to be, but it's still doing the good work. And then I'm just trying to move a few units consistently in this direction. So I'm just coming over, break this unit, it goes off, and then I kind of pin in these units. I bring this one down, I bring this one up, and then I kind of, force you into this unfortunate situation here. And you're right on the white line, so, and then there's army losses.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's up, Coach? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. It's the big boy. So yeah, I feel like on that front, obviously your Shaman Sorcerer is going to be a lot of value on the balance of power.
Yeah.
And I think there was a couple of units that took some, I'm going to say some slightly unnecessary early damage. But that's okay. It was a couple of and this is the problem with this kind of build. If you make just a few mistakes, like just one or two mistakes here or there, it can be really painful to try and get back onto it.
Yeah.
But did you see what I mean by the original attack was a little bit disconjointed? You had a few attacking, and then everything came in. But by then, the few little bits that were attacking were either half health, broken, or whatever. But it's a lot of micro. So this kind of build is probably going to take you a short while to get used to.
Exactly. Because I already felt it was going better the second time. So
it's much better. Yeah.
Might need to do this some more.
Yes, no, 100%. Skid Wolves, got okay value. That's the worst they've got so far. Caster did well. Wolfric doesn't really do much. But the infantry got some value. But also the Marauder Horsemen. Yeah, these are 500 each. So, 500 value, 400, 400, 500 compared to your throwing axes, which are like considerably more.
Yeah, 800.
So in this matchup, the throwing axes really need to deal with the Skin Wolves. Whilst you're getting your cavalry on my Marauder Horsemasters and Horsemen.
Yeah.
It's kind of the idea. And with your mobility advantage, you can just kind of negate a lot of my Marauders. Yeah. So, yeah. Yes, that's the matchup for me there, I think. I don't know if anybody else at home has any kind of different ideas, but I think this is quite a scary army. Maybe there could be argued for some different elements, some different magic. Maybe I can think of something. Let's have a look. Beastmen. So you got 4. You could still go Tracykin. Tracykin could do well if I blood up with the cavalry. I think you need archers. Yeah, see, I was thinking that as well, Kolasha. Like we had that before. The first game with us with the we had 4 Ungol Raiders. My infantry corps beat the infantry corps here of Rekijan, and then I just yeah, I think you're right, maybe. Yeah, so my berserkers still beat back the Ungol infantry, so it looked a little bit like this. We had 4 Ungol spearmen, 4 of the Ungol raiders, double gore herds, 4 centaurs, quite an expensive Taurox. We had a footcaster, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he had Law of Wild with Ray Scream and Vartide. Maybe.
Brave Scream and Trader King.
Oh, Trader King. I think Trader King's a good one. Then we had we had double big boys. Yeah, build looked a little bit like this. Call it Char. I think for me, I always try and get Rekijan with some Minotaurs in there, but I think the Minotaurs are the inefficiency here.
Yeah.
Because the problem what we found was that the skin wolves. I mean, I caught the Centicles with the skin wolves, and if the Centicles didn't challenge my skirmish, they got butchered, and then also I beat back Ungor spearheads, and then managed to get in the back on the Ungors. So I think they were able to beat the Ungor spearmen, get into the back up against the Ungor raiders. Yeah, it was quite tough. Maybe actually it's drop the Minos and maybe just bring some more infantry. For example, you could bring some more Goreheads, could be the way. Maybe even the Regiment Renown if you really wanted to, and then maybe some of the Regiment Renown Spearmen as well. Kind of go for that effect. You could then maybe go like actually I quite like Dissolve. You could go Dissolve and Brace Scream. Wouldn't be terrible. Build like this could work. Build like this certainly could work. Yeah, build like this could work perhaps. That way you try and just overpower the infantry. You just have to be really careful with your cavalry, I guess. Because they're going to be really crucial in the late stage to deal with my skirmish cav. I think the biggest problem to deal up against Norsca in this matchup is the fact that you have the nice combo of skin wolves and skirmish.
Yeah. That's pretty brutal. Because they defend each other really well.
They kind of do what you want to do, but better, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe save this one as well. Maybe save this one. It's a nice 20 stack as well, so you know. Yeah. You know, you can definitely have the Goreherd fighting. Yeah, maybe this could do better actually. Yeah, maybe you want something called it, Shaw. Maybe this could do better. Because then you could actually be a bit more sparing with your Ungor Raiders. And then you can kind of use a Centaur Ungor Raider kind of way to deal with. I think this is the way maybe. I know it doesn't have any. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. You know, you managed to talk me into it. You managed to talk me into it. I like the cavalry approach. Yeah, this is true. This is true, and I think that's really important, especially with players trying to learn factions. Having less micro attacks is much better. Yeah, I could see this doing much better for you. I think, Rekijan, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just played against one of the boys from DVD too much, who's like a Beastmen main, and he loves the full cavalry build, and he's so good with it.
Well, I like the style. I'm not used to it, and I'll need some more games to get comfortable with it, and then decide if I like it or not.
Yeah, so I'd say take those two builds away. I would say those two builds would this one. I think this would probably be your primary. Oh, here you can actually drop the rune tortured axes, and we could probably throw some more into this. 230. Drop dissolve. Go Traitokin. Oh, do we get you? Do we get you on a chariot? Not for just Brace Scream, I don't think. Right. Go Traitokin. Bestial Search, maybe? I don't know. I like Death Magic in this one, I think. You'd like to take Fated Bunic here, but I don't see it being worth it. Purple Sun, maybe? Play Wood Elves if you want full cav or Empire. Man, I love playing Empire. I love playing. I think that's next on the list for us, isn't it? I think. Yes, the Empire then Zinch.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think you could certainly mix and match this any way you like. Maybe Shadows as well. Maybe go Melkov's Mystifying Miasma, and something like Pit of Shades. Maybe actually wouldn't be too terrible either. Yeah, that actually couldn't be that. That probably wouldn't be that bad. Enfeebling Foe, if you really wanted it as well, maybe that's too much.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate how they ruined Jagged Dagger. So pointless now. Yeah, something like this would be fun. And then you've got a situational choice that you can do whatever you want with.
Yeah, the items across factions could use a bit of a touch-up.
Yeah, some of them were balanced really well. Some of them were nerfed through the floor, I think. Like Jagged Dagger is like okay, but having that power recharge rate. Oh no,
Or the vampire accounts with their forbidden rods on the necromancers.
Yeah, like it used to be better than Forbidden Rod, right? And now it's just garbage. So yeah. But yes. There you go, my friend. There you go.
Yes.
That is yeah, that is the Norscans. They're
Cool.
It's probably one of their best matchups, I think. In my mind. I wonder how a Gorgon would do here, maybe. No, I think it gets shredded, I think.
Yeah, not so good. Doesn't even beat a mammoth. Big mammoth.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well listen, dude. Good stuff, good stuff.
Yes, thanks.
I think this is gonna be better for you. So try that out, let me know how you get on. I've given you, let me give you all the replays.
Oh, I saved them myself, but thanks.
So they're in there now. Next week we'll go over the Empire. Empire's quite an interesting one. Just to touch up on it now. The Empire are gonna have like a. You can already see the kind of army you're looking at here.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it's going to be too far from this anyway. But you can see kind of maybe some of the problems you're going to be having here. Big heavily armored roadblocks such as Empire Knights, armored Outriders, Pistoliers. Pistoliers are a big problem. Pistoliers are like dogs that can fire, which is always a pain in the ass. They're just so good, man. Like 90 speed, firewalls moving, and they outmatch you for range as well. Very cheap infantry, very cheap infantry that just has high melee defense, like 42 for spearmen, for like 0 cost. Halberdiers as well, if I absolutely have to have them. Amethyst Wizard with like Spirit Leech, Power Stone. Power Stone's actually decent. It is only one use though, to be fair, I must say. It is only one use, but still. I know you could kind of play it around like a little bit like this. And then regen on the big boy. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But yes. Go. The Smalls build is so good into Beastmen. Is the Smalls build much different than this quarter chart? I don't know if it's much different to this, but this is the logic build. All right, dude. Well, listen, good games.
Thanks.
I'm going to shoot off, but we'll be on next week, same time.
Yeah. See ya.
Take care, man.
See ya.